So we're going to talk about Google Drawings and Jamboard. They're both different Google apps, and they're both pretty graphic, but there are some small differences between the two. The way we're going to talk about them is using them as virtual workspaces. So Google Drawings is just like this blank canvas. It's almost infinitely big, and it's an app that is part of the Google Suite. So anybody with our education accounts has access to it. It's kind of hard to navigate to, so we'll talk about like how to get there. It's basically a place where you can take words and shapes and make almost anything into an image. So some ways that you might use it: you can create like custom badges for your students. You can make graphic organizers, like a Venn diagram is really easy to do. You can provide interactive worksheets in there if you drop in an image, infographics if you have data you want to represent. You can do mind mapping with shapes and lines, demonstrate more complex problems with a diagram. Label images as an activity, show visuals with diagrams, produce or show a timeline. You have all kinds of lines and text options. I'm going to show you where to find it because that's one of the hardest things about Google Drawings. So if you open a new tab in Google Chrome and you go to your waffle, you don't see it. So you have to go to your drive. And when you hit new, you have these Google apps and you have to go all the way down to more. And this is where you can get Google Drawings and Google Jamboard. We're going to start with a drawing. So this is how it starts. It's just this blank space. So the checks mean that is a transparent piece. There's nothing there. If we saved this now, we wouldn't see anything. So to start, I'm going to go to page setup and I'm going to choose a different size. So we have these sizes. I'm going to make this the size of a piece of paper. So I'm going to do 11 by 8.5. And I'm going to say apply. So this is a horizontal piece of paper, and now we can start working on it, and it'll print really nicely. So you can add all kinds of cool stuff to your drawing. We can change the background color. We can add word art. We can add shapes. We can drop in pictures. So I'm going to start by giving this a background. I'm going to drop in a rectangle here. Well, I'm going to draw a rectangle. So it automatically defaults to this blue with a black outline. So I'm going to change kind of the color of my page to yellow, and I'm going to give it a transparent border. So now it's just kind of this yellow page, and this is kind of my background. I think I want to make a Venn diagram. So I'm going to make a circle, kind of half the size of my page here. And the red lines are guides. That farthest to the left is the edge of my canvas. And then the one through the middle shows me the center of my canvas. I'm going to Command C and Command V to make a copy of my circle. And I'm just going to scooch it over to the edge and look for my center. So now everything's nice and centered, but it doesn't really look like a Venn diagram. So I'm going to make both of these transparent by going up here to the fill color and saying transparent. So now I just have lines, and I've got a Venn diagram where they overlap, but I should label this. So I'm going to go here and add a text box. I'm going to say, so that's how easy it is to label something in here. You just go up, you make a text box, but I don't really love how this looks. So I'm going to highlight my text, and I'm just going to pick a different font. This is the same as in Google Docs. You have fonts and sizes and colors. So I'm going to change the size, color, and now I like that a little bit better. I'm going to center that. And I actually learned this from Meadow Sheldon. I have this box selected, and I can copy the format of that. Like, it's going to grab the color and the size. So I'm going to use this paint roller to copy the format of this and apply it over here as well. And I'm going to do it to my other box here. So I just have to click on it, and it'll make those all the same.
Yep. One question then, you didn't have to make the text box. You really just clicked on that. You clicked on the paintbrush or the roller?
Yep. This one here, it's a Gould right now. And that will copy like all the ways that I've formatted that text. It grabs the color and the size and the fact that it's centered in its text box.
Oh, yeah,
And,
yeah. Okay.
Like, because you see the cursor, it wouldn't work quite right. I want to get the whole box, the whole text box and copy that.
Cool.
So, yeah. And then I just click on the next one and it'll apply that and save me all kinds of time. If I wanted to get really fancy, I can change the colors of my circles here, and you can make them kind of more transparent by going into custom gradients. If you don't know how to use gradients, it's like ombre hair or clothes. And you can do some really beautiful stuff. You can like make like sunsets and stuff. You have different angles that you can set them at. And I didn't know this until recently, you can actually add more colors. So if I just drop another color like purple in here, I have white, light gray, purple, and dark gray, and I can keep on adding and get more stripes.
Wow.
And you can really customize stuff in here. So that's some of the simple. We've added shapes. This is how you can get some word art. If you go to Insert and Word Art, just drop something in here and it comes out really plain. If you click on this, like to get the text box, you can do those same, you can change the font, you can change the color. We can go really crazy and make the font gradient. It's just a fun way to do some custom stuff. When you have this complete drawing, you can add it to a Google Doc or a Google slide. You can download this as like a flat image if it's something you want to print and have kids work on. One of the most powerful things is you can add links to this drawing. So if I wanted to have the kiddo, like if I wanted to give some instruction here, I'm going to add another text box. And I'm going to Command C to copy this link. And with this text box, I can go here and say insert link, paste, do Command V to paste in that link. And now that box becomes something clickable and my kids can go to the article and then fill out this Venn diagram right here. You could add some text boxes for them to fill in, give it a border so they know that it's there.
Okay, I have a question now. That brings up, so if the students were doing stuff online, would they need a text box in order to type in those circles?
I think it would be easier to explain to them. If you double click on the circle, you can start typing in it. But I think it would be easier to give instruction, click the box to fill in your answer.
Also, I'm not seeing the where you made the purple. A Venn diagram is such a useful graphic organizer. So how can you make it go back so that you had that overlapping section in the middle?
With my circle highlighted, I can go to the fill color here, the paint bucket, and go back to transparent, and then it's just the line.
Okay.
And if you want that line to be more obvious and defined, you can go to border weight and just make that a stronger line. So that's kind of the basics of Google Drawings. This is kind of a way that I thought it would be cool to use Google Drawings. If you were talking about a place, you can make a drawing. This is one that I made. So I made the little map. And then on top of it are just rectangles. And then I made the text boxes that the kids can move around into the right place. So that's a way that you might use it with your kids. And it would become a little interactive picture.
And they'd be able to type in those white boxes. Just click on the white box and start. It's click and drag.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, okay.
This is another really cool way I've seen it used. They just make shapes and then they have little guys do the click and drag to make tanagrams. So if you were to make this, you'd make your yellow, not an octagon.
Hexagon.
You'd make your yellow hexagon and you'd just copy it and paste it a bunch of times. And basically it's like a stack of them, and the kids can pull them onto the canvas and use them. And they never really see that. To you, it's flat, but really it's a stack that they can pull from. And
so what would they do with that?
I think it's like a preschool activity, learning shape, counting. Some other ways that you might use it is to make like a comic strip. You can do that background, add your rectangles, and then drop in more call out shapes. And then I'm going to share this with you, but these are just a bunch of really cool ways that other people have used it. You can see back here, somebody did like a compare and contrast infographic, KWL, like what you knew, what you learned. You can just do some really cool stuff with it because you can make any shape, any size, add any text. This lady makes special badges for her kids with her Bitmoji and just basic shapes. And this one's one of my favorites. So this man made his canvas, split it into that background image, and then just a bunch of text boxes. And it's the same idea. The kids are going to make a poem by clicking and dragging all those words, like those refrigerator magnets. It's that idea.
I love it.
So it automatically makes it so it's click and drag because you're in Google Draw. It's
Yep. Let me make a new one. We'll do a new drawing. And I'm going to change the shape of this one. I'm going to go to page setup, and I'm going to go custom. I'm going to go the other direction, 8.5 by 11. So this is going to be portrait. And if I was going to make one of those drag and drop poems, and really, I would not do this. I would just use that Nice Man's template. Like, it's free and it's awesome. He has some for like Christmas. But just to show you, so you could put your image here. I'm gonna go crazy and do like a Halloween gradient. We'll do black on this end, and we'll do orange in the middle. I like this orange. And then we'll do purple over here. Okay. And then to make our little poetry words, we're just gonna put a bunch of text boxes. And so he made them really nice. He filled them with a nice color and gave them some kind of spooky font. Make it big. So you can, I'm going to do Command C to copy this. And I'm just going to paste it a bunch of times and just put different words in. Black. Oops. And we'll scooch this over. Black cat. Pumpkin. So if you have a Google Classroom and you made one of these, you can make that assignment and say each student gets a copy, and then they'll all have their own drawing that they can drag their words around.
So you would just send them a link to this and then they would get on their iPads, or this would be like, how would they get to this? Through Seesaw or something like that? Or
yeah, the little guys use Seesaw, and I think that's an option in there too, like to make a copy for each student. Okay. There's a little bit of Google magic that you can do. Do you see my address bar here? Mm-hmm. Where it says edit, you can change that to copy. And if I hit enter, it says, do you want to make a copy? And if you were to take this link and share it with people, they would be asked if they would want to make a copy, and they would own that one, and they could make any changes to it that they want. And this like doesn't have anything to do with sharing. This is how a lot of people who make templates for free online, like that poetry one, it will probably open this page and ask us if we want to make our own copy. But this is another way that you can share stuff without sharing it.
Right. Great.
But yeah, it's very simple, but you can do a lot with it. You can drop tables in here. You can drop charts in here. We didn't talk about, you could do mind mapping. Let's say we're trying to do some mind mapping, and like this is our main idea, and that's going to be at the center of our map. And then we want to link out to other things. if you go to line, it will automatically show you these guides to help you link to other things. So if I start getting near another text box, it will show that guide and create a link between the two. And you can double click and change the length of your line. So you can do a bunch of different diagrams this way. So I'm going to move this here and I'm going to insert a line. And you can see even my big rectangle has those guides if I want to connect to that. But I want to link pumpkin to my main idea here. So you can start, and you have those same options here. You can change the line color or width to make them more apparent. You can also change, if you wanted to make an arrow, you can do it this way. If we drop in a line that's not linked to anything, we can change the ends of the line. So we can make it into an arrow. We can make it squared on the ends. The squares can be transparent if we want. I think probably I would use this one and this one the most. So you can actually get really, really detailed and change like the end to the point. And then we can change the size to make that bigger. So you can do quite a bit. This is also used a lot for annotation. If you had an article, like I'll go over here and I'm gonna do Command-Shift-4. And this allows you to take a screenshot of just a selection. So I can decide how much I wanna grab. I'm gonna make this screenshot and I can drop this right into my Google Drawing. And I could be like, okay, kids, I really want you to focus on like this part here. I have to bring it forward, but that's another way that you can use it. I've seen people, instead of like a highlighter in here, you can make like a little bitty rectangle and then make it. We want to change the transparency. If you go to custom colors, you can change the transparency and make that kind of highlight some text in here. So I had my rectangle and I went to custom and changed the transparency of my color. This is one of my favorite resources. Ditch That Textbook has been around for a long time and been doing really cool stuff. He has a lot of ideas on how to use Google Drawings and then a bunch of stuff that you can use and customize, a bunch of templates and files. Jamboard is really very similar, but it's more about collaboration. I would say it's more like a whiteboard that you can share. So the main differences are, I feel like Jamboard is all about hand drawing or hand writing stuff. And then drawings is all about shapes and text. So I am gonna go to my drive. I'm gonna say new and more and Google Jamboard. And it opens up a blank canvas. It's similar, opens up a blank canvas, but what you can do here is you can set different backgrounds. Like if you're teaching math, you can have a dot. If you're doing handwriting with your kiddos, if they have iPads, you can practice that across here. You can do graph paper, or you can set the color. But what's really cool is you can add images. So if I wanted to upload something from my computer, if I wanted to drop in a picture from a website, I can look for stuff in my Google Drive. I found some worksheets for free. So this is just like a really basic math worksheet for little kiddos. So I can set up a little math board for my kids to work on, and they can type the answer, they can write the answer. So to do that, there's this pen tool, and it has some other options. There's a marker, a highlighter, and a brush. I like the marker. I'm going to choose blue, and I'm going to say 0 + 1 is 1. And 1 + 1 is 2. And maybe my kiddo needs some instructions, so I can go to the text box and say, please. And then I could share it with my student just the same way as I would a doc or a drawing or anything else. What's cool about this is I can make a new page. Like, okay, so we did our math and now we're going to work on our English. So this is one where they're going to circle the picture, my Jamboard here, paste that. And then I can give them the instructions. I can say, and they'll use their little marker and they'll circle. So yeah, you can pick your background for what you're doing. You can add images. You can use those markup tools. So you could do a bunch of stuff with annotating text. I didn't talk about, you can add stickies, which is kind of fun. Here in our Jamboard, we can add a sticky note, and we have some colors. Forget. And then we have the sticky we can move around. And I've seen some cool stuff where people dropped a bunch of blank stickies. And then this became the activity. They just put a bunch of stickies on and they asked their kids to do like a brain dump, because this is something you can share with, I think, up to 50 people. Everybody can be working in here at the same time and they can fill it in together.
I have to say, we did this last year, Alicia Wolf and I, in our high school English class, and kids that age, I guess, they were happy to experiment. They'd never seen it before. And we had some drawings. We had kids drawing. Anyway, I kind of liked it initially to just let them explore the technology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I haven't shown is that you can drop in shapes as well. So this is another place that you can do, the basic shape stuff. It's not as graphic. It's very basic. I think it'd be great for demonstrating an idea, but not for showing the information. So you can, if the kid has done some really great work, you have the option to download this as a PDF or save it as an image so that you could drop that into a report, or you could print it. You can make a copy. If you set all this up and nobody's worked on it, you could make a copy to save, and then you could share this and the kids can scribble all over it and you'd still have a fresh one. So you can just continue to add slides, I think up to 20. 20 is the max. But you could always make a new Jamboard. This is a great basics video by Esther Park. I think that she's an awesome resource. She does some really beautiful free templates for slides. This is one that she made, a Jamboard. So she did a scratch to win. So what she did is she opened a Jamboard here, and we'll go back a frame. So imagine this is behind here, and we want the kids to reveal the right one, I guess. If you were to use the pen, I think the brush might be bigger. Let's see. Yeah, the brush. I guess she used the pen. So she scribbled on top of this. And then to reveal, the kiddo would use the eraser and scratch that off. And that would be a fun activity. You can do like exit tickets. So very simple. You liked it, you didn't like it, and then the kiddos can drag stickies and fill them in with their name or a comment. I love the refrigerator magnets idea. I think that that's super fun. So they basically populated the Jamboard with all the letters, and then the kids can drag them and write their names or words. And these are all free templates. I think that this is a really great article from Ditch That Textbook. He gives 5 really cool uses for Jamboard. So he actually recorded him using the Jamboard to demonstrate an idea. So he used it as his visual, and then it became a video that he could use later. But I think that Jamboard is great for like understanding checks or kind of demonstrating a new idea. And then drawings is better for giving a graphic of info or making something that you want the kiddos to complete. I think that's the big difference between the two.
Great stuff.
Awesome.
I love it.
Do you guys have any questions or anything that stood out to you? I'd love that feedback.
Just everything, just how much you can create and how interactive it is with the students. It's really good.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many different uses, things you could do with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. I taught like 10 years ago, high school and middle school art, and I'm coming back into education right now. And so all this technology is so new to me, and I'm just like, it's good stuff,
Yeah. I made this to demonstrate like how much you can do with Google Drawings. Like this is just the basic shapes, and then a fun extra. Google Auto Draw. If you want to just blow your kids' minds, or you don't want them to know that you can't draw, let me clear this. I want to start over, and I want to draw. So this uses machine learning, and as you draw, it tries to guess what you're drawing. So I'm gonna go to auto draw here and see how the top has started to populate.
Oh yeah.
Let's see, I'm trying to draw a bicycle, so and then it has handlebars. I see glasses. I see
up there. Okay.
See, it knew I was trying to draw a bike.
Uh-huh.
Wow. Now, could you just press on one of the pictures and it would show you step by step how to draw it? Or
no, that would be super cool.
Yeah.
But if that weird shape wasn't in the background, you can download this, or probably what's easier is if you do Command Shift and 4, we're just going to grab that bicycle and drop it into our Jamboard or our drawing. My internet is not a happy camper today. Grab you, drop you in. There we go. So then you can work with a really nice, like if you were going to do sketch notes and you wanted something really recognizable, they have all kinds of objects and options. If I was doing something on like, all I can think of is of mice and men. So if I wanted to draw, let's see if it can figure out a mouse. We've got shoes. I'm going to give it a tail. Yeah, there's a mouse. It took like 3 lines and it knew what I was trying to do. Mm-hmm. So that could be a really cool way to help kids get into that sketchnoting. That I'm one of those people, I have to doodle while I learn. It just activates both sides of my brain, and I think that could be really cool.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Because I love this stuff. This is great.
Oh, I'm glad.
Mm-hmm.